Hey everybody, my name is Phil. I am very excited to be with you today through the question and answer part 2 for this film called Detective Trail, The Case of the Jealous Actor. Are you fired up? Are you excited? Do you think you can defeat me? Well, let's go. Joe, the actor. Sherlock, the detective. Vincent, the sergeant. Justin, the director. And now we're going to have and listen to a conversation, and listen to it very carefully because afterward you're going to be answering a lot of questions.
What the hell happened between you two?
It was quite a spectacle. It happened about a month ago. We were getting our paychecks that day, and I was happy to find I got a raise. Joseph, on the other hand, was less fortunate. His paycheck was cut almost in half.
And why is that?
I don't even know where to start. Always forgetful, late for rehearsals, terrible temper. Take a peek.
Freaks. How dare they? What the hell is that?
I tried to explain the raise to him, but he refused to believe that I was worth more than
You're
him.
lying. You stole that money from me. You're a thief. Easy.
Hey, Michael. Did Joe really believe that? I doubt it. But he certainly didn't want to face the bitter reality.
You know what? I'm not gonna leave it like this.
Oh.
I will report you. You are a freak.
Okay, good luck.
I can't.
Okay, now, hopefully you've listened very carefully. Here come the questions. Tell me, when did the spectacle happen? Yep, about a month ago. What caused this spectacle? Joe believed Michael stole his money since Michael got a raise, but his paycheck was cut. Who received their paychecks that day? Yes, Joe and Michael did. Why was Michael happy? Yeah, because he got a raise in his paycheck. On the other hand, why was Joe less fortunate? Because his paycheck was cut almost in half. And now we'll continue on. Why was Joe's paycheck cut almost in half? Because he was always forgetful, late for rehearsals, and had a terrible temper. What did Michael try to do? Well, he tried to explain the raise to Joe, but Joe refused to believe it. Why did Joe refuse to believe that Michael was worth more than him? Because he didn't want to face the bitter reality. What was the bitter reality for Joe? It was that Michael was worth more than him. What did Joe threaten to do to Michael? Yep, he threatened to report him. And what did Joe call Michael? He said, "You're a freak." And now we have our next conversation. Again, listen closely for future questions.
You know, Sarge, I think that Michael is telling the truth, and his report that he filed, his grievance, proves it.
Yeah, but you haven't even read it yet.
I don't need to read it. The fact that a report was filed with the union says it all. I mean, if there's really a theft, right, somebody's going to go right to the police, right? Because if there would have been an investigation with the union, it would have proved that there was no theft. And Joseph, he would have been humiliated. I think the director was just trying to save his face, you know?
Yeah, but why did the director remove the complaint?
It's probably for the same reason as, that's my hunch. I mean, if the investigation would have went through, they would have seen that there was no theft, and Joe, he would have been publicly humiliated.
So if Michael had nothing to do with it, who put the live round in the gun?
I'm sorry, guys, I hate to interrupt, but have you talked to the director?
Okay, that's the end of that conversation, and here come the questions. Why does Sherlock conclude that Michael is telling the truth? Because the report that Joe filed with the union, and his grievance too, proves it. What was the cause of Joe's grievance? Well, the fact that his paycheck was cut almost in half made him furious. If there'd been an investigation with the union, what would have happened? It would have proved that there was no theft and Joe would have been publicly humiliated. So why did Sherlock think the director dropped the case? Because he thought the director was just trying to save Joe's reputation. Tell me, what hunch did Sherlock have? Again, he thought the director was just trying to save Joe's reputation. What would have happened to Joe if there'd been an investigation with the union? They would have seen that there was no theft and he would have been publicly humiliated. Who had nothing to do with Joe's murder? That's right, Michael. He wasn't involved with Joe's death. He is innocent. What was Sherlock stumped by? He was stumped by the question, who put the live round in the gun? And our third discussion, once again, listen closely.
I'm sorry, guys, I hate to interrupt, but have you talked to the director? There was a rumor that he wanted to get rid of Joseph.
It's nothing like that. Joe was my friend. I wished all the best for him.
All the crew said that you guys had a conflict. Were you unhappy with his acting?
I love Joe. But others began to notice how much his popularity was dropping. And one day, he overheard me talking to the producer, where we were discussing his dismissal.
No, so you did want to get rid of him?
On the contrary, I convinced the producers to keep him for the sequel, but they were against it. Producers are all about money, ratings.
What made Joe so angry? Huh? What made him angry?
It seemed to him I didn't defend him enough, although I did everything I could.
Okay, here come more questions. Who interrupted the conversation between Sherlock and Vincent? Michael did, yeah, he interrupted their conversation. Who was the next suspect that Sherlock had to question? It was Justin, the director, yes. Why was Justin suspected? Well, because there was a rumor that he wanted to get rid of Joe. What did all the crew say about the director and Joe? They all said that they had a conflict. What did others begin to notice about Joe? They began to notice how much his popularity was dropping recently. And one day, who overheard Justin talking to the producer? Joe did. He overheard their conversation. What did Joe overhear? He overheard that they were discussing his dismissal. Did Justin really want to get rid of Joe? Nope. he did not. On the contrary, he convinced the producers to keep him for the sequel. Did Justin convince the producers to get Joe dismissed? Nope, he didn't. He convinced them to keep him for the sequel. What made Joe so angry? It seemed to him Justin didn't defend him enough. And our fourth discussion.
But Joe, he kept on working.
Yes, I told Joe I could get the producers to put him on the sequel. I lied. It was his last shooting day. The day when he was killed.
Yeah, we kind of already know that.
I mean it in the cinematic sense. In the previous version of the script, the character of Joe was shot in the leg and wounded. But then they rewrote the script so that Joe gets shot right in the heart.
I don't get it. If this was Joe's last shooting day, why would anybody want to get rid of him?
I don't know. I think the puzzle's starting to come together for me, Sarge. Listen, can you describe that shot again for us?
More and more questions. What did Justin lie to Joe about? He told Joe that he could get the producers to put him in the sequel. What did Justin reveal about the original version of the script? Well, in the previous script, the character of Joe was shot in the leg and wounded. But then, how did the producers rewrite the script? They rewrote it so that Joe got shot right in the heart. Poor Joe. Why did they rewrite the script so that Joe was shot in the heart? Because they wanted him dead so he couldn't appear in the sequel in the cinematic sense. What did Sherlock ask Justin to do? He asked him to describe that shot again. And believe it or not, a fifth discussion.
I broke up Joe and Michael's fight. Joe unknowingly thought Michael was hitting on Lola. But that was the new scene I had added the day before. Come on, guys!
So ready? What about you, Genius?
As always, Max.
Go ahead, Genius.
Camera rolling, sound speed.
2, 1.
Silence, please.
Then I said, action!
That's it all, man. You're done.
No, you're wrong. This is just the beginning. But I love you.
Let me finish here.
Stop!
So guys, what do you think? Huh? Take a guess. Who is responsible for Joseph's murder? Is it Michael? Lola? Maybe it's the director. Or Joseph? I'll give you one last chance right now to make your choice.
Okay. More questions. Tell me, who did Joe unknowingly think was hitting on Lola? Michael. He unknowingly thought Michael was flirting with Lola. Was Michael really hitting on Lola? Nope, he wasn't. That was just a new scene the director had added the day before, and Joe unknowingly misunderstood Michael. What does Sherlock want us to speculate about? He wants us to guess who is responsible for Joe's murder. Does Sherlock want Vincent to speculate who the murderer is? No, he doesn't. Sherlock wants us to guess who is responsible for Joe's death. Who are the suspects for Joe's murder? 4 suspects. It could be Lola, Michael, the director, or even Joe? And that was the end of the discussions. Thank you very much.
Sergeant!
Right here.
Listen, I'm gonna need you to send in the print from the casing back to the lab for match verification.
Again? Detective, we've already done that to everyone on the set.
No, not everyone, Sarge. Not Joseph's print.
Do you think he put the live round in the gun?
Well, yeah, it's obvious. I mean, just take a look at his pants.
What about his pants? Just ordinary pants?
Too ordinary, cheap. I mean, take a look at this. Look at his expensive coat. Ah, the tailored shirt, the Italian shoes. Nobody would wear such cheap pants with that kind of an outfit. Impossible.
Doesn't sound like Joe. He's always choosing his own best clothes for the shoot.
Les, he intentionally wore those pants, knowing that he was going to trash them later.
As you could see, my director confused me. That was not the end of discussion. So tell me, what is Sherlock going to need Vincent to do? He needs him to send the fingerprint from the shell casing back to the lab for match verification. Why does Sherlock have to verify that fingerprint again at the lab? Because he suspects it is Joe's. What outfit did Joe wear? He wore very ordinary pants with an expensive coat, a tailored shirt, and Italian shoes. Why did Joe intentionally wear such an outfit? Because he had been shot in the leg. He knew that he was going to trash those pants later. Here we go for another discussion.
Why would he throw his pants away?
What kind of a question is that? You told me yourself. The original script called for him to be shot in the leg.
But why would he set up his leg wound?
Sergeant, come on, just think. Imagine the headlines the next day. Famous actor almost gets murdered on set. I mean, he'd rise like the phoenix. He'd be showered, smothered in admiration, sympathy, new roles, lots of money. He'd get back everything that had
Well,
lost.
the script was changed, and he was shot in the heart.
Just look at his face. Look at that expression. Total surprise. He found out just at the moment. But it was a little
And
bit too
the
late.
questions keep coming. Tell me, why would Joe throw his pants away? Because he'd been shot in the leg according to the original script. Why would Joe set up his leg to be wounded? Because he'd be famous again and get back everything that he had lost. If Joe had been shot in the leg, what would have happened? And well, the next day, all the headlines would have been about him, and he would have risen like the phoenix. If Joe had been shot in the leg, what would he have been showered or smothered in? He would have been showered and smothered in admiration and sympathy. Who would have gotten new roles and lots of money? Joe would. He would have gotten back everything that he'd lost. What was Joe's expression when Lola pointed the gun at him? Yeah, total surprise. He found out just at that moment, but it was too late. And here we go for more.
Oh, nice shot, mate.
So Joseph set it all up himself.
That's right. This is one case where we know who's guilty. And it seems like he's punished himself already.
Joseph. What a fool you are. This may sound silly, but I think the old man would have been glad if he'd known he was going to pass away in such a spectacular way.
Well, you know, there's one thing that Joe obviously wasn't wrong about. And that all the headlines tomorrow, they're going to be about him.
Another case closed, Detective.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Tanya Love, and I'm an actress on the main cast of Dramatized Will. If you would like to see more videos featuring me, please subscribe on our channel.
All right, who set this whole thing up? Joe did. Joe set it all up himself. He put the real bullet in the gun. Who called Joe a fool? The director did. He said, Joseph, 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 what a fool you are. Joe would have been glad if he had known what? If he had known he was going to pass away in such a spectacular way. Who passed away in